You just found Mind Your Business, the real estate podcast, where I put the real back into real estate. I'm Janis Benstock. I've been an agent, a broker, an instructor, and now I also own my own real estate school where I teach students not only how to get their license, but to succeed in the business. And I started this podcast so that I could say even the quiet things out loud. I'm not afraid to tell it like it is. And if you're a new agent or an aspiring agent or someone who even needs a reset, you have found your place. Pull up a seat, put whatever you want in that sippy cup, and join me for a wild ride.
This is New Year's. I'm not recording this New Year's, but you might be watching this New Year's. And I'm doing it for a reason. There's a method to my madness. Because right now, if you're like a lot of people, you're sitting around coming up with your New Year's resolutions. In fact, you might be scrolling through YouTube now, trying to figure out what goals you want to try and achieve and how you're going to recreate yourself for the new year, new you. And I'm going to call bullshit right now, and I want you to stop. Because here's the deal. You don't need to change who you are. That's the first thing. You're already perfectly fine just the way you are. And if you want to improve your life somehow, and maybe real estate has something to do with it, you can do that. And you can do it tomorrow, but you don't need to wait until the new year in order to change. You can do anything you want at any time you want. And so you might be scrolling through YouTube and coming across people who are promising you that you can become a trillionaire if you get your real estate license. And they might be driving a Lamborghini and telling you how they're 12 years old and they just got their license yesterday and they just closed $20 million worth of deals and all other kinds of bullshit that they're telling you to try and sell you something. And I'm gonna tell you the real truth. The real truth is you can make a lot of money in real estate. You absolutely can. And you can also make zero money in real estate. Just like anything that you do, it's all about your mindset and it's about how you approach it. Any of those get-rich-quick schemes are crap. And I'm not saying you can't get rich quick. There's totally ways where the universe can just drop amazing things in your lap and you could be aligned and in the right place at the right time. But you don't have to buy something from somebody flashing around in a Lamborghini in order to be able to do well in real estate. So, if you're interested in expanding your life and expanding your career, real estate's a business. You have to go to school, you have to take an exam, you then have to take continuing education, you also have to pay fees, and you have to follow the law so you don't get in trouble. It is not selling sunset, it is not sexy like they show you on TV all the time. If you approach this as a business, which is what it really is, and you put the people first, you can totally make an amazing living in real estate because not only can you make a lot of money, but you can help people and you can be in charge of your own schedule. So you get to basically be a small business owner for a really low barrier to entry. So if you're scrolling along and you see the person who's bragging about everything they have and how they got it, maybe stop and think, why are they on YouTube bragging about everything that they have? Because if they were so busy selling $50 million worth of real estate and driving their Lamborghini, when do they have time to sit down in the YouTube studio and make a video? The reason why I have time is because I'm not driving a Lamborghini and I'm not making $50 million a year. What I am doing is I'm running a real estate school so that people who want to get their license have a place to come and get their license and learn about the business and mindset, because a real estate license in your pocket isn't going to do you any good unless you know how to use it. And I also run a brokerage where I attract mostly new agents who want to break into the business and have a really high touch level of training and mentorship from yours truly. Because I've been in the business for a very long time, probably longer than some of you have been alive, and I keep up with my education. I keep up with all of the latest news and the change in laws, not the trends, not the fancy cars, not the get-rich-quick schemes, but the things that keep you productive, that keep you effective, and keep you out of jail for breaking the law. That's the stuff I do, and it's clearly not sexy, but guess what? It's meaningful. And if you like the shiny bells and whistles and you want to drive the fancy car, you can drive the fancy car and there's nothing wrong with that. But if you think that buying someone's $30 course or the magic secret to how they made $1 trillion in 10 minutes in real estate is going to make that happen in your life, I have a bridge to sell you, because it ain't going to happen that way. If you're looking to get into real estate, I want you to think about a few things. First of all, why? Because if you like houses, that's great, except for real estate isn't about houses. Houses are just the things that you look at and show every day. It's the product that you're selling, but you're not even really selling. As a broker, your job is to bring the people together. And again, people, right? Real estate is about people. It just so happens that the problem we're solving for people has to do with housing. But if you don't like people, and you don't like problem solving, and you don't like helping people and talking to people, real estate might not be the right job for you, at least not as an independent contractor. Maybe you can go work in some real estate office doing data entry or marketing or something. But if you want to get out there and sell and earn a living on commissions, you gotta want to talk to people, and you have to be genuinely concerned with other human beings and helping them out. That's the first thing. You don't need to be a salesperson. If you checked out my other video on that, the link's right here. You don't have to be a salesperson and be able to sell, but you do have to be interested in people. The second thing, you have to understand the laws. You're gonna need to read a book and take continuing education and pass an exam and know about the laws. Real estate is regulated in all 50 states as well as the Canadian provinces and DC. It is not a joke, it is not a reality show. It is laws and contracts, and yeah, you can have someone in your team or in your office that helps you out with that, but ultimately you're responsible for your client, you're responsible for the deal, and you need to make sure that you know what the heck you're doing. People are spending their life savings on a property, and it's oftentimes where they live and raise their family. If it's their primary residence, it's a big deal, and you have to take it seriously. You're going to be an entrepreneur, which means you wake up every day unemployed. Yep, every single day you have to start building your business over and over again, because if you stop, you're going to go hungry. The hunting for clients is really the hardest part of this business. And if you don't have it in you to find a way to go hunt for clients, you're going to go hungry. They don't just come to you because you put a post on social media that says, I got my real estate license. They don't just come to you and buy you the Lamborghini with all the millions of dollars at your closing because you posted on social media and said, oh, if you want to buy or sell, come with me. Because people know tens of real estate agents and what is going to differentiate you from all of the other ones. So this is a business, and you have to figure out how you're going to get clients, because nobody's going to hand them to you. Not even the person on YouTube that's trying to sell you the magic secret to how to get millions of clients. It doesn't work that way. You're telling me they say they make how much? $1 million a year? Okay, let's just do some math. Now, I'm not saying they can't make $1 million a year, but let's talk about what that really means so that we can cut through the bullshit, because I call it bullshit. If you're making, and I can't really talk commissions because that's an antitrust thing, which is another thing that the fucking gurus aren't telling you, because you're not allowed to talk commissions, you're not allowed to do price fixing. I'll be the one to keep you out of jail, not those people. But let's just say you were a new agent and you were on a 60% split with your brokerage, which is kind of common in the beginning. You would have to sell, right, to make $1 million? $55,555,000 per year to make $1 million in income. And if you doubled your commission from what I was calculating, that would mean $27 million. Are you gonna sell $27 million or $55 million your first year? Look around your neighborhood and where you live and what's the average price point of the properties. If you're gonna even sell $27 million a year, because let's say you charge really, really high commissions, let's say you sell $27 million a year and the average sales price in your neighborhood is $400,000. That means you have to sell 67.5 houses per year. If you sell $1 million houses, that means you have to sell 27 per year. If you think you can do that and charge really, really high rates, then go ahead, but sit down and do the freaking math and ask these people what the hell they're talking about. Because do you look around and see $1 million houses that you're gonna be able to sell 25 to 50 of them a year? You have to think about what these people say. They drive me so crazy. And in fact, this is an interesting conversation because in the Real Estate Licensing and Registration Act, and remember, I do everything by the book, so I know all the laws and stuff. It says that in order to, and this is Pennsylvania, I don't know every state, but in Pennsylvania's Real Estate Licensing and Registration Act, it says that in order to be a home counselor and charge for real estate advice, you need to have a broker's license. And I guarantee you that 99% of these freaking gurus that are out there on social media trying to sell you stuff and teach you how to make money in real estate and teach you in the real estate business, they don't have a broker's license. They're not even legally qualified to be able to tell you stuff and take your money. So just be really careful about who you listen to. And in fact, ChatGPT, there's another one for you. I use ChatGPT to help me come up with new test questions for my students because I run down the test questions. So I was just sitting around with Chat this weekend. We were hanging out while you guys were out partying. I was hanging out with Chat writing new test questions. And here's the truth about it. I got in a couple of arguments with Chat. You know why? Because it gave me wrong answers. And I was like, dude, you're wrong. And they're like, oh, I'm sorry, you're right. Why didn't you tell me that the first time? I even have to correct Chat because this is what I do all day, every day while you're out baking Christmas cookies and shopping and out drinking eggnog. I'm sitting here like an idiot studying the railroad. So I'm not the only one. There are plenty of people who know what they're doing out there, but I'm telling you, the people that are like driving around in Lambos bragging about how much money they have with their tiger on a gold leash hanging out the window, they probably don't know jack shit about the stuff that really matters and is going to keep you out of trouble. So I have such for these messages that these people, not the people, I'm sure they're good people, but the messages. And if you stop and you think about what drives people to put this message out there, do you want to be the type of person who's led by money? And if you do, go at it. But what is the whole purpose of having money to begin with? I know for me, the whole purpose of having money is so that I could do this or do that or do that, fill in the blank, because we all have reasons. Think about what you would do with a $10,000 commission check. And we're all going to do different things with that check. But if we think about the thing that we would do with the check, buy the thing, go on the vacation, fix up the house, pay off the bills, whatever it is that we would do, what's the reason for doing that thing? And I guarantee that your answer is some version of it will make me happy or it will make me feel better, right? And if we really, really boil it down, the whole purpose for making money is to feel good for whatever you do with the money. So if you're driving around in the tiger with a gold leash and you're making money for the sake of making money, you're missing the point. If your purpose is to feel good and the money will help you get there, then focus on the feeling good and the money will follow. Focus on the doing good, being good, and feeling good, not on the thing that the money will buy. The thing that the money will buy is not going to bring you happiness. Being happy and then finding a way to make money is what it's all about. But if you're listening to the wrong people, the people who are focusing on the material things only, without any purpose behind it, you're not only missing the point, but you're setting yourself up for failure and worse yet, legal trouble. And I'm not saying that to scare you, but I'm saying that to scare you. Be very careful about who you listen to. Be very, very cautious. I'm all for people being wise. I admit when I can acknowledge, I can accept when people are wise without formal education. That's a whole other story. I don't even know that I believe formal education is a thing necessary. But when it comes to real estate, when it comes to either investing your life savings in an investment property and signing contracts, or getting your real estate license and going out and serving clients where you are held to a higher standard by the law, be really freaking careful about who you listen to. Because who the fuck is the person in the Lamborghini to be telling you what you should do when they know nothing about the laws, the contracts, the regulations, or anything, and they're charging you money for it? Be really careful. And right now, this whole New Year, New You time is the perfect time where they prey on the fact that people want to make a change. And I'm here to tell you, yeah, you can make a change, but the change has to come from within, and it does not have to be a New Year's, and it is not a get-rich-quick scheme. Because if it is, there's somebody on the other end profiting from it. And if you really want to change your life, and you really want to make a move and do something, whether it's in real estate or not, you don't have to wait until January 1st to start it. It really makes me crazy. Okay, so I started noticing that I got more and more students in my pre-licensure class. And in the beginning, it was because of HGTV, but then it got worse. Then we got shows like Selling Sunset. And I know people are in my class because one of the things that we do on day one is everybody gets up and introduces themselves. And one of the questions is, why are you here? And when I hear Selling Sunset over and over and over and over again, I realize there's an issue. And I actually sat down and tried to watch the show. It lasted maybe 4 minutes, and then I couldn't take it anymore because guess what? It is not real. We all know reality shows aren't real anyway. And this is a reality show about real estate. And there are other ones out there. It's not the only one. But that's the one that annoys me the most. It's not real. It's not real. That's not how it is. Now, you might be somebody who's out in LA selling $10 million properties. That's real. It happens. But it is not TV, and it's not sexy. There might be sexy properties that you sell, and you can make a whole lot of money. But real estate is not sexy. Real estate is a business. And if you get into the business just for the glamour factor, just for the sexy factor, you're going to be very disappointed. Now, you can turn your business into sexy if that's what you want. That could be your jam, that could be your thing. You could go sell fancy or luxury properties. Nothing wrong with that. But they're not just gonna fall into your lap unless they are. If you hang out on the polo field all day and you're in boardrooms and you know billionaires and millionaires and that's your jam, go ahead. But then you don't need the gurus on social media to tell you. That's already your work. But if you're just sitting there behind your computer and you're scrolling through YouTube to try and figure out the new take on your life, real estate really might be the thing for you, but I want you to go into it with open eyes. I want you to go into it with realistic expectations. And that doesn't mean there's a ceiling on how much money you can make, because you can make a lot of money in real estate. And then you can make a great living selling real estate. The key to creating wealth is to invest, and having a real estate license is a great segue into that. But it takes work. And I don't mean the hard kind of grinding work, but I mean the kind of work where you have to know your contracts and you have to know your stuff. And so I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm saying this. Oh my God, I'm gonna regret this. If you see something anywhere online about a get-rich-quick scheme, I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm saying this. If you see a get-rich-quick scheme, or you see buy this thing and you're gonna know the $1 million secret, I want you to send it to me. I want you to send it to me. I'm not gonna call anyone out publicly, but I want you to send it to me because I wanna be able to look at it and I wanna be able to tell you why it's bullshit. That's what I wanna do. This is my promise to you. I will do this, you send it to me, and I will tell you why it's bullshit. And if I tell you it's good, go ahead and buy it and become a trillionaire and drive a Lamborghini. And you could just make the license plate say Janis because it was because of me. But I'm gonna guarantee you that you're not gonna be able to send me a get-rich-quick scheme or a secret magic answer that's gonna make you a trillionaire in real estate. that's real, that's on the up and up. I challenge you to find one. There's not one. There's not one. Well, this conversation took a turn into the depths of hell, and there's going to be some influencers that are really pissed off at me, but whatever. They can fight me on that. If you liked this conversation, and if you stuck around this long, maybe you needed to hear this because I saved you from falling over the cliff, right? And listen, you're not the only one. It happens to people. You're searching through, looking for the magic answer. The magic answer is already within you. If you liked this conversation, this is what happens. We go wild all the time here. It takes a turn. Like and subscribe to my channel so that you can catch every crazy conversation and see where it goes. I'll see you in the next video.